Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's Game Lab, the last Game Lab of this semester, a semester which brought us many great things to our Game Lab, in the sense of a newly founded Twitch channel for the Klagenfurt Critical Game Lab of the University of Klagenfurt. And as all good things come to an end, we are providing you with something very special for tonight. Every good sitcom needs that very special episode sometime towards the end of the season. Our very special season of Klagenfurt Critical Game Lab, so to speak, is going to end with an interview today. And for that, I welcome Daniel Adams to the chat room.
Hello.
Fancy having you here tonight, Danny. Danny, before we grant you the main stage to tell us a bit more about yourself, allow me to introduce you for a second. And perhaps with that, allow me to introduce the idea that brought us here together for that night.
Yeah.
Some of you might remember a couple of weeks ago, we held a Reddit Ask Me Anything, where I was talking a bit about the master's program, Game Studies and Engineering here at the University of Klagenfurt. We received a lot of pretty cool questions ranging from which theorists we're preferring to if we like the Beatles or not. Beatles are awesome, by the way, I have to admit. And one question that came up regularly is, where do you students usually end up? Now, that is a very challenging question, actually, to start with, because our students come from a variety of fields, many of them, of course, with their own dreams, hopes, aspirations, timeframes, places to see, places to be at. So we have people going into the cultural sphere, dealing with video games from a cultural perspective. We have people who are happily working with various tech companies, people who want to get into education, people who want to get into writing. And one of these students found his way by now into an indie game development studio. One of our very first GSE students, actually the very first GSE students to ever apply to us. The first application interview I held as a program director was with him. And that's you, Danny, isn't it?
That's me. I am just amazed that I am the one that gets to have that honor. It's a wonderful thing.
If anybody should have that honor of actually having the first interview time on our Twitch channel, that should, of course, be you. I mean, after all, by now I know that you're pretty well doing when it comes to interviews. You just really know how to bring a smile to the opposite end of the table, a smile to the audience. And I mean, you are one of the people who really made it, or who made what many people imagine being made means when they go into game design, game studies, game engineering, namely working for a game development studio. So I guess you have a lot of interesting things to tell us about your time making games. But first of all, tell us a bit more about yourself, please.
I would love to. Yes, so as Felix said, my name is Danny. First year student of the GSE program. I just have to praise the wonderful interdisciplinary nature of this study. Like Felix said, again, there are students going into every realm of game development, games criticism, games publicity, what have you. So a bit more about myself. I started game design not in video game design, but in analog game design. Worked on a couple analog story games, RPG, similar things. Had the opportunity and good fortune of participating and winning a few competitions in that regard. But really, my foray into game development was pretty lucky. If I'm speaking honestly, this is not a typical course that many people will follow, I imagine. But then again, it just goes to show the importance of knowing people. It's who you know and the contacts that you make. So yeah, that was my start. I began working for Clockwork Bird Games. This is a new studio that a friend of mine and I co-founded very, very late 2019. Off the back of his previous success, he developed the cyberpunk management sim Spinartality, and with the profits from that, was able to bring me on as a partner, co-founder, co-developer, game-making person. So here I am.
Which is beautiful, lovely. And perhaps to add a bit more to the odds of you actually ending up here in Austria with us with game studies and engineering.
Yeah, that's a story.
You were not only the first application that we received, but you were a immense surprise for all of us being here, eagerly awaiting for the first person who really wants to study with us, because your application read American citizen.
Yes.
You were from the United States of
I'm
America.
from the US. Yeah, it's been a long journey to get here, but if that's not fate, I don't know what is, honestly.
So how did that fate look like for you? What brought you to the far corners of
Yes.
Austria and Central Europe?
I'm gonna spare the details of the long story, but I think there are two main things that would cause a person to move internationally. One being a work contract, which was not my case. The other being meeting an important, significant other. Um, so I was living in Seattle, just happened to meet an Austrian woman. She decided she wanted to move and asked if I would come along, and yeah, I did. I did want to come along. I had never considered moving to Austria specifically. I did a study abroad in France for a month. I was in Paris doing my communications degree and a French minor. And from that point, I don't know, it just hit me. I don't want to be in America. That's not my place for whatever reason, culturally, socially. The social benefits are a nice addition, but also the adventure of it. I was jumping at the chance to chase something new and unique and different that not many people have the opportunity to do. Yeah, so we moved. We're in Vienna for a year and a half, excuse me, and then moved to Klagenfurt of all places, Maria Saal to be very specific, where she was originally from. And then one fateful day, her mother showed me Die Kleine Zeitung that had an informational bit about a new master's program that was coming to the university. Oh boy, oh boy. Again, if that's not fate. I was
And all of a
pretty
sudden,
I was pretty certain that I wasn't going to do a master's program. I had done my bachelor's degree. I was finished as far as I was concerned. But when an opportunity like that comes around, that's not something that you can pass up. So I jumped at the chance, and what, 3 years later, three and a half? How long has it been? I don't know. Time is gone. Time doesn't mean anything in these days anymore.
and not in game design,
And
anyway.
certainly not in game design. Very true.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really an origin story worthy of a superhero, if
Right.
you ask me.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that your origins as a game designer and game developer are even further in the past than we can imagine right now. Because that's the moment I just love to ask people about, like, how did you become interested in gaming?
Yeah.
Not just in the
Yeah.
sense of I'm a grown up, I'm a functioning adult,
Mm-hmm.
I like to make games, I
Mm-hmm.
like to design games.
Yeah.
What is your very first contact base, so to speak, with the
Mm-hmm.
idea of games are fun and that's something that I could do someday?
Yeah. I feel it's such a cliche story, but I feel like it's so prevalent in the games industry, right? People who make games are often the same people who love playing games and love to get into the nitty gritty about what makes games work and to have all of these ideas floating around about how they would do things differently or what they would change. And my first foray was my father's NES, the gray brick, the old
Yeah.
school Nintendo Entertainment System, back when controllers had a total of 6 buttons. That's maybe even already too generous. That was it. From that point, I was hooked, and then Christmas a couple years later, I got the Nintendo 64, and the story was written from there. I haven't stopped playing games since.
First proper gaming memory?
First
What's
proper
the
gaming
first game you...
memory.
Yeah.
Um, First proper gaming memory. Yeah, it's a funny one. Um, During the summer, my brother and I would be off of school. Obviously, our parents would be working. And so we would make a hearty breakfast of a platter of just toasted bread and jam. Sit with that platter
Nice.
and play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, I think it was, among other games. But that's the memory. That's the one we would switch off, take turns eating our toast and jam and playing Tony Hawk
And connecting via video game, of
and
all
connecting via
things.
video games. Yeah, yeah,
Something I love to remind people about. You can connect over or via video games pretty well, actually, with other people.
absolutely. Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why you get in touch with Jamie as well. So you're
yeah.
working with a partner,
I'm working with a partner.
you told us.
Right.
How did you two end up together in a team?
Ah, wow. That's a good story. Um, it was back when I was living in Vienna. I had co-founded an organization of a different sort. A friend of mine and I, Johannes was his name, had founded a meetup group for people passionate about story games. So these
Hmm.
pen and paper storytelling RPG mashup, whatever you want to call them, games. So he and I had co-founded that meetup group, just this social club that would meet and play these games every week, every 2 weeks, as often as we could meet. Um,
Hmm.
and that's relevant because Jamie and I, my current studio partner, we met at the Reversed Festival in Vienna. Back before my days as a video game developer, I was just there. I had reached out to the organizer of the festival and asked, "We don't do video games, this meetup group, but we do gaming." And I think they were very open to having some sort of analog thing happening there,
Hmm.
in addition to all of the developers presenting their latest projects and students presenting their research. So I was just there really by chance, just presenting these story games in this strange environment. And at the same time, Jamie was just a couple tables away from me, presenting his work in progress, Spin Mortality, that I mentioned before.
Hmm.
I took a break for a few minutes just to stretch my legs and see what there was to see. Of course, like I have to play the games while I'm there. I can't man the table the entire time. Um, so I got chatting to him about his game. It was a cyberpunk game. That was obviously a big plus in my book. We got chatting about. Uh, I distinctly remember our first conversation was about like the depths of politics. Like,
Hmm.
what does cyberpunk as a genre say politically about the world that we live in, and what about uh, income inequality, and what about social welfare, and what about rampant uh, I'm forgetting the term. Excuse me. Multinational corporations having a say in politics. Like, let's talk about all
Hmm.
this stuff. And the story was written from there. We just hit it off right away. Stayed in touch. Um, and then eventually I moved to Klagenfurt and started the university program, of course. And during that time, we designed a game together with Twine as a
Hmm.
submission to a literary publication in Vienna. And so we sort of made the Twine game as a companion piece to some I don't know, I guess Twine excerpts that were printed in this book. And so that was the first game that we made together. The
Hmm.
Embers of the Stars, it was called. It's still available for download on our itch page if anyone is interested. It's a strange little game, but all of ours seem to be. So it was very fitting. Yeah, and as I said at the very start, his game Spin Mortality took off. It did much better than he expected, and he had the resources that he could hire on some extra help. And based on the game that we had designed together and our shared political philosophies and just our communication style, most importantly, we'll get back to that later, I think. Um,
Definitely.
I was the first person he contacted, and again, how could I say no? I jumped at the opportunity.
Taking the opportunity. See, I
Hmm.
promised myself this would not happen today, but of course it always happens. That's
It's
just my
hmm
classic trademark
hmm
move
when
then,
you
huh?
promise
But yeah,
yourself that it won't happen is when it's going to happen. If you never think about it,
that's
you'll be
when
fine.
definitely it's going to happen. Absolutely. But yeah, that's my kind of trademark move.
Mm.
What about your trademark moves at the office? I guess a
Mm.
lot of us are kind of curious about how the average day of an indie game developer looks like.
Yeah.
Like, what's the daily routine at the office? Do
Uh,
you even go to an office?
I was just about to say, I can't talk about the average day at the office because Jamie lives in Vienna. I live in Graz. We are remote by definition.
Hmm.
And so already things are a little bit different than what you might find in a typical game development studio, a typical environment. So my day starts. I'll wake up, have my coffee, rub the sleep from my eyes, take my dog for a walk, which is always a nice way to begin the day. Get some fresh air, get the brain cells pumping. Um, yeah, then it's hard at work, and it really depends on the day. It depends on the topic. Depends on what the current thing that needs to get done is. It's a very, very flexible environment by necessity. For example,
Hmm.
2 months ago, I suppose in April, we were running our Kickstarter campaign for our current game, Silicon Dreams, and so that was all social media all the time, finding streamers, finding YouTube content creators, putting out stuff on Twitter, updating our demo, telling people about our demo, just trying to get the word about our game and the Kickstarter project to as many people as possible. Of course, now that that campaign is over, the focus has shifted. I'm sat firmly in the position of character design at the moment. I can talk more about that later as well, the focus and idea behind our current game. But really, the thing that characterizes my work as an indie developer is that there is no typical day. There is no program. There is no set routine. Aside from our regular meetings, we sit down together every Monday and have a video call.
Okay.
Sit down with our project management tool, decide what needs to be done this week, what's priority, what's my focus for the week, what's his focus for the week, how can we help each other out, and so on. Yeah, it's interesting. As a two-person studio, we both get to wear a lot of hats. So that's another portion of the work is trying to make that as fair a balance as possible. So at the moment, he is the sole programmer. I am very much a student of the humanities. I started this position with almost no coding ability, to my disservice, sadly. But that's part of what we're doing now. Every Wednesday, he teaches me a little bit. We sit down in Unity and just make a little game on the side to hone some of those skills and get me up to snuff, so that I can help out with the programming side of things. Just a quick technical question. Does anybody else have eyes on chat, or is that on me to manage? Because I see some questions popping up here.
That is a pretty good question. I'm not on chat yet, but
Okay.
I can get into chat real quick. That's not an issue at all. Getting onto Twitch, please let me know if we get some acoustic feedback that we shouldn't be getting right now, or that we should.
In the best case, you should probably mute the stream, just to avoid
that's
any of
mute.
that, any of those issues. Yeah. So I just wanted to leave that in your hands, to not interrupt the flow and cut you off if you have some questions that you'd like to get to before other things.
Okay, yeah, that is beautiful. Now I got our Twitch stream on as well. I'm in the chat room. I can't see any questions that have been posted so far, but if you have a question, I'm online now and I can see that actually, just as I should.
Okay. Well, I see some in mind. So we're doing a interesting thing that might make it a little bit more complicated. Where I'm running this interview from our studio's channel. So welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Give us a follow if you want to see Jamie and I play some games together. Every Friday we take a break and get ready for the weekend by celebrating games and playing some stuff together. So just a little plug. Oh, look at that, Dragon Soul. You rule. Thank you. Thanks for the follow. So I'll just dip into this real quick. He asks if there's any burnout during development and how do we overcome that. That's one thing I'm really, really proud and excited to talk about, is that basically as a founding principle of our studio, we said no crunch. That is not a thing we do. That is not the kind of working environment we want to promote. And so burnout, no. I haven't felt that yet, and I hope to never feel that. That's not to say that there aren't times where we do commit to doing more work and do commit to going above our contract hours, so to speak. But it's very much not an expectation. It's a choice that we make when there's more to be done. Again, as a two-person studio, we're both incredibly passionate about the projects that we're making. And as an indie studio, our budget isn't huge, so we have to be very conscientious about our timelines, about the scope of our projects, about how we manage and plan things. And sometimes it happens that, if we're both well and feeling good and want to get to it and are just excited about the project, then yeah, we'll give it a little bit more time. But I'm very happy to say that I have not been burnt out in development and hope to never be.
Beautiful. Do you have any more questions in your chat room window, Danny? Because apparently I don't
That
get them in
seems like
mine.
all of them.
I don't see
Yeah.
them.
If you wanted, I believe you could open the Clockwork Bird stream, and then you would have access to chat, and then you would be able to decide when to bring in questions when that's appropriate.
All right, I'm trying to get there. Should things not work, Danny, you have an eye on the questions as well
Okay.
for a little bit.
Okay. We'll
That
just
is
wing it.
mighty kind of you.
We'll just wing it.
We'll definitely do something awesome. Yeah, this was all strategically planned. We know what we're doing here. We're not overwhelmed by tech at all. That's not what we guys do.
No.
But it's actually a great overture because, as you kind of hinted at the beginning of your career in game studies and engineering, you might have been a bit overwhelmed by tech in general because you are a humanities student. You are not coming from a tech side of things.
Correct.
But you are working in a rather tech-related job right now. And
very much so.
Definitely, I don't want to use the word forced because you enjoy what you're doing, but you're definitely up to programming, to dealing with Unity you mentioned. What's the kind of advice you would give to humanities people who want to get into game studies or into game development?
That's a really good question. Again, take all of my advice through the filter of my unique experience. This isn't going to be the case for every studio, for every person, for every position, for every job path. So just be aware of that. That being said, my advice would be just try as many things as you can. Again, if you know you want to go into a specific direction, if you know you want to be a 3D artist, jump into Blender. Like, try some animating, try some 3D modeling. It's an incredibly obtuse piece of software. Very capable, but the hotkeys and the menus and the interface can be daunting, to say the least.
I can confirm that from my novice
That's
perspective.
that's on the agenda for tomorrow. Actually, I get to do some 3D modeling, so I'm gonna have to eat those words and swallow them down whole. Yeah, that would be my advice. If you don't know what you want to do, try as many things as you can. Try and crank out a game in Twine just to get an understanding of sort of variable control and logic flow. Uh, Try out Blender, like I said, to come to grips with texturing, materials, 3D modeling, sculpting, animating. Just try out as much as you can. And then once you've tried those things, if you're particularly drawn to something, you can always go into more depth. But if your goal is to go into indie devs, like I said, we wear a lot of hats, particularly in a smaller studio if you're looking to found something with a friend and there are only going to be a few of you, then there are going to be a lot of tasks that need to be accomplished by a small amount of people. So if I can make a little plug for one of my favorite games, I actually saw this
Please go
idea of
ahead.
mine confirmed somewhere else. I was looking up advice for how to get into programming. And I was amazed and so encouraged to see that one of their top pieces of advice was try playing a game like Factorio or Satisfactory. These games with heavy logistics focus, because it's an amazing tool for training you to think about troubleshooting and bug fixing, to take it that far in a really nice way, because these games are all about building logistics networks. So you start with something and you turn it into something else and turn that into something else and turn that into something else, and on down the line it goes. And when you have a problem, you have to find that problem and trace it back to its source. And so it's a really, first of all, fun. It's one of my favorite games. I have hundreds of hours in this game. But it's just a really fun way of training your brain to think in a new way if you have no concept of programming or no understanding of how the logic or variables or these systems function and tie together. So yeah, it always gives you a nice excuse. I'm playing Factorio, but I'm learning to be a programmer. Of course, you have to actually learn to program at some point, but it's a nice foundation.
And it's definitely a kind of career where you can also bring a lot of positive elements into your working environment with other skills that you possess outside
Absolutely.
of programming.
Absolutely. If I can jump on that and run with it, I was thinking before we started the stream, if I could give a piece of advice to people about the one skill that they should nail down, regardless of which area of the industry you want to be in. And again, this has been confirmed in Twitter posts and advice blogs by people people in the industry. So it is my opinion, but it's been backed up by others. Learn to communicate, learn how to talk. As you know, by being involved in the GSE, game development is an enormously interdisciplinary skill, art
Mhm.
form, right? You have programmers, you have artists, you have project managers, you have publicity people, you have marketing. Like all of these types of people, if you can lump them into personality categories, communicate in different ways because of their experiences. So um, my advice would be to learn how to convey your thoughts and sort of negotiate conflicts, negotiate creative ideas, discuss all of these problems in a holistic and positive way. Um, Again, as I mentioned earlier, that's one of the things that made me so confident to work with Jamie is that our style of communication is just upfront, totally honest. There's no beating around the bush. If he doesn't like my design, he's going to say it's bad because of this and this reason. Let's change it, and we'll have a full-on conversation and come to an agreement. And usually,
Mhm.
in most cases, the end result will be both of us having our minds blown because the combined result of this creative effort is better than either of us could have come up with on our own.
Hmm.
Um, so my one piece of advice, regardless of which area of the industry you want to enter, um, just learn how to talk. And again, I'm the unique like outsider case. That was my bachelor's degree. It was communication. So I learned how people talk to each other, how people use language to discuss their emotions or opinions or whatever. And so I was really lucky in that regard. But if you can give some time to analyzing the way that you speak and the way that you give criticism or feedback or especially praise, um, give that some attention, and that will pay enormous dividends in the long run.
Wonderful answer, Danny.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Greatly done. And kind of bringing me to my next point
Mm,
already, because you were talking about games that helped you in the sense of making you realize what the actual challenge in programming is.
hmm
Games like Factorio that help you to
hmm
understand design patterns or
Yeah,
algorithms, so to
yeah,
speak. You have your very own project going on right now.
I do.
So we could also talk a bit about this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to. We're really excited about it. Again, I think it's in our on our website's about us section. We make weird games. We make offbeat, weird narrative
Mhm.
games that will never be mainstream. But there's absolutely an audience for people who like weird games. So having said that, our current project is a game called Silicon Dreams. It was heavily inspired by the Blade Runner franchise, particularly the Voight Kampff test, where Agent Decker is trying to uncover whether this person in front of him is a replicant or a human being. Um, and we found that idea incredibly inspiring and evocative and poignant. And so this game that we're working on is an Android interrogation game. The player takes on the role of an android constructed and employed by Kronos Robotics, a company responsible for mass producing these domestic service androids. Um, you can think of Detroit Become Human would be a very good touchstone. And so the purpose of the game is you sit and you diagnose um, or troubleshoot this android in front of you. In some
Hmm.
cases, there will be a minor error, something gone wrong. In other cases, they're deviant and fighting for rights of other androids and sort of seeing themselves as people, which the company does not
Mhm.
like. Um, so the main point of friction of the game is you as the player um, inhabiting the role of an android, owned by this corporation who wants to deny androids their rights and their personhood. But also, you're forced to interact with androids who share opinions counter to that of the company, and you have to sort of navigate um, your own desires both as a player character and as a player. Do you want to just fully side with the corporation and keep your job and therefore, to a certain extent, you're protecting yourself? Or do you want to try and enact some sort of change? in the world, in the way that androids are treated. So
Mm.
much like Blade Runner, there's this large philosophical question that sits behind it. What is a person? When does artificial intelligence become intelligent enough that it deserves rights and it deserves the same freedoms and liberties that human beings deserve? Yeah, so again, very cyberpunk, very political. Um, we spend a lot of time discussing the issues that we want to raise and how to raise political topics in a responsible way, in a way that allows players to choose what they do, but that yeah, that allows players to find their own sense of morality and to find their own solutions to problems and address issues that really have no clear solution. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a bit of a heavy hitter, but that's Silicon Dreams in a nutshell. Just to plug it before I forget, there is a free demo available. There is, I
Tell
know,
us.
I know.
Share the demo, my friend.
I will just type it in chat, actually. Let me get the link really quick. It's on our itch page for anyone who knows about it already. Just one moment. Things are being difficult as always. Here we go. I'll plop it into chat. There we go.
Yeah.
Clockworkbird.itch.io, Silicon Dreams. You can download a very, very early alpha prototype of this game, but there is a tutorial character, and there is your first subject, so the first actual playable character. Oh, I've lost your webcam feed, I'm realizing. That problem we were discussing earlier. I'll get you back in just a moment.
Yeah, please do. I don't like my
There we are.
head's angle on that one.
Nope. All right, you're back.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like
Thank
I
you.
said, very early alpha prototype available, but it should convey the concept of what we're trying to do. And yeah, our earlier projects and other random stuff, Jamie's game, you can find him there.
Beautiful. A heavy hitter, as to say, but I really like these kind of games. You know, a game doesn't have to be big,
Yeah.
but it has to kind of provoke some kind of feeling or emotion
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah.
Not really in a whimsical sense, but something has to pack a punch in here. And
Yeah.
that can happen in 15 minutes, that can happen in 15 hours,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to be in there somehow.
Yeah.
We actually have a question by Dragon Soul about the weirdest game you played. And I think that might be a good question before I come to my final one for the day.
Yeah, that's a really tough one. I'm so stuck in my rut of like the games that I love, you know, Factorio and Rocket League, an interesting combination, but don't think about it too much. The weirdest game I ever played. Well, I know right off the bat, it's one that you gifted me, Felix, as it so turns out, genital jousting.
Oh my god.
That was the weirdest game I ever played. I enjoyed it. However, I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. It is quirky and weird, but it was an interesting time. If I was going to recommend a different weird game, I just got to give a shout out to Zachtronics. This is another indie studio that's very well known for their puzzle games, things like Space Chem, Opus Magnum, Shenzhen IO. Very programming heavy, logical thinking heavy games. And I put them in the weird category, not because they're quirky or strange, but just because they're, I don't know. I feel like some people might struggle to classify them as games because they demand a lot of brain power. But I've always found them incredibly enticing. So Zachtronics, check out that dev, indie creator who deserves a lot of credit.
Awesome to see that kind of companionship amongst indie developers.
Yeah.
Yeah, praise to that. I'm just realizing that the whiteboard behind me is giving me a very otherworldly vibe, and I'm just going to live with that now. As the sunbro as I am in my European passions, but that's a topic for another day, perhaps, because
That's wonderful.
we're actually running out of time
Oh
slowly, but
boy.
Jenny. So we should definitely focus on a couple of other things because
Hmm.
there's like a million questions I wanted to ask you.
I know. It's always the problem with these interviews. Is there's never enough time.
That's what happens when you are allowed to spend time chatting with interesting people, I
Mm.
suppose. But so we just make the very most of it. And as you know, I also wanted to use this interview opportunity a bit to help our current master students
Hmm.
to think a bit more about what it means to be a developer.
Yeah.
And you talked a lot about your daily routines already,
Hmm.
about the skills that you bring to the job, about skills that you never really thought that you might
Yeah.
need. Then all of a sudden they came in super handy,
Yeah.
allowing you to basically cross the gap from a humanities angle
Mm.
over to a tech side of things where
Hmm.
you're actually programming together with your partner in
Hmm.
crime for game design. And you have also briefly mentioned that you went on to Kickstarter with your game,
Yes.
which I think is a important topic to talk about
Mm.
because maybe a bit like game design, I think that's something that people imagine as being too easy. Like,
Yeah.
especially people that email me when they're not in the program yet. There's so many things that you think you know how they
Yeah.
work simply because you play a lot of games,
Hmm.
but then when you actually in the position to design them or work on core mechanics, stuff like that,
Yeah.
you all of a sudden realize how intricate these topics are and how in depth you have to be
Yeah.
to hit the right note. And I can imagine that with Kickstarter, it's a bit similar because all the things you hear when you're not really doing Kickstarter yourself is how much money you can get out of it.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, you see the latest Come On board game Kickstarter and how they raised a couple of $1 million in half an hour. You see similar things from many, many other companies. You know about Star Citizen, of course,
Of
when you went to
course.
go.
I backed it myself.
As did I. And when you're a part of the crowd on that side of things, where you
Hmm.
just raise your wallet together with a million other people, you see or you get the feeling that things with Kickstarter are easy. You have a game idea, you pitch that game idea, and bam, you leave with a couple of millions of dollars.
It certainly can happen. There were, if I'm going to talk about our campaign specifically, there were a couple things that came to a head that did us a disservice. I mean, it wasn't successful, I can say already. Um, but yeah, it's not a guarantee in any way, and it really has to do. I dare even say more important than the idea and the concept of your game is just the following that you have. And
Mm-hmm.
as a newly founded indie studio in Austria with a former employee having one previously published game, we just didn't have the social media reach.
Mm-hmm.
And then that on top of the COVID crisis, and everyone was pinching their pennies a little bit, understandably. Um, that was even part of our campaign. He said, if you pledge money and it ends up that you need that to eat, like tell us, and no questions asked, that will be refunded. Didn't come to that because we didn't succeed, but that was certainly a factor in the lack of success. Let's say it that way. But crowdfunding is a tricky game, absolutely. And if you're considering going to crowdfunding, um, we I'm not going to say we. This is going to be my personal opinion, not anything from the studio itself.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you have to go into it expecting it to fail, first of all, because there's always that chance. I would also say, as much as possible, don't use crowdfunding as a last resort, again, because it can fail. And so, um, our planning when considering the next move to make, whether we go to Kickstarter or just develop it on our own and scope down, was, well, we might as well try. We might as well try to get the extra money to make the game closer to what we hope it could be. But the thought behind it, and I think the thing that really served us, is in all of that consideration and all of that planning, we thought very long and hard about the amount of work that running a crowdfunding campaign would take, and acknowledging the fact that the work that goes towards the crowdfunding campaign would take away from development time. Because as I said, as a two-person studio, you can't do all of these things. You can't manage a crowdfunding campaign and the social media that goes along with that and continue working on the game. And so we very intentionally decided that like we have the budget to do this. Even if it doesn't succeed, we can finish the game in some sense, even if it has to be sort of the minimal concept of what this game is. We can do it and we can get it out there. But where I don't funding is a tricky topic. Yeah, before going to crowdfunding, if you're in this position, I would advise looking for grants. There are always city government grants, state-funded organizations that are trying to encourage young companies with their products who have little capital, little reach, have none of the resources that bigger studios have. So yeah, look into every funding source available. And my number one piece of advice would be don't go to crowdfunding as a last resort, because if it doesn't work, then I don't know, everything sort of vanishes from beneath your feet, and that's not. I don't want to see that happen to anyone. It's a shame to see studios closing just because their Kickstarter didn't make it.
Going into research about funding opportunities is definitely an important topic. I think not purely for indie game development, but also something that as a program director, I would like to pass on to all the viewers we have right now. There are so many untapped pools of money for student grants, opportunities to apply for things. If you have a project idea in mind, if you want to start your own company, reach out to your administration offices at university. There might be opportunities just waiting for you to be found that you never even heard about, because so little research is done about that, because not many people look into these topics, or because you get plastered with emails on your student account for all other topics. But really, if you think about going indie, if you think about starting your own thing, this is wonderful, and people see wonderful things. Yeah. Really take your time and look into all funds and opportunities available.
Yep, absolutely.
And with that being agreed on, my dear Danny, I see we only have 2 minutes left on the counter.
Oh, such a shame.
An utmost shame, I dare say, an utmost shame. Is there anything that you would like to pass on to the audience before we call it quits?
I suppose for me, it's just a final plug. First of all, I want to thank all of you for joining this little interview we have. It's so exciting to get back in touch with former university colleagues and people I haven't met, just to give a little bit of advice and encouragement, and check in, say hey. Again, if you're curious about anything that we're doing, you can find us at clockworkbird.net. The link to download our games and demos is in chat. You can find it there. It's also linked on our Twitch About section. You can find it there. Let's see, what else? I'm going to put my personal, or not my personal, my work email. I'm going to put in the chat, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me through that channel, or of course, stop by one of our streams, send us a message on Twitter. In any way, we're always open, always eager to give encouragement and advice to up-and-coming game devs. So there it is. There's my email address. And again, a huge thanks to Felix and the Critical Game Lab tutors, staff, supporting people, and all of the participants. This has been a wonderful pleasure and just a great time to get to connect with all of you. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Danny, it's been an utmost pleasure to have you as a guest for today. Wonderful chatting with you again. I mean, we wanted to meet so often for the last half year, but of course, with everything happening in the world, we just didn't make that work out. But we will find one day for our shared board game evening.
Absolutely.
That we've been planning for a while. To all the GSE peeps listening in the stream right now, Danny is still an enrolled student with us, which also means that he's still in our Moodle group. So
that's right.
if you post something on Moodle, that's also an opportunity that you have. And with that being said, again, Danny, thank you very much for your time. Wishing you a wonderful evening. And I'm totally sorry about being corny right now, but with me kind of fading out into the sun, I just have to phrase it in the way that only
Absolutely.
true sun bros can do. Praise the sun, my dear friend. Wishing you a nice evening.
Thank you so much,
We're
and all the
over
best to
and
you.
out. It's been a pleasure. See you around, Danny.
Yep. And to everyone else, don't forget to switch over for the Game Lab. This stream is going to be shut down. So hop on over to GSE's channel to continue the fun. And I think you're playing some co-op games, if I heard correctly.
Absolutely. Have fun with the following Game Lab, and of course, much support for your ongoing projects, Danny.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
I hope you guys can hear us. I hope the mic is not too loud. Please let me know if it is, because this we just made the last adjustments a second ago. Okay, so for the introduction, I have to go over a little bit more. For the introduction, my name is Simon. This is Florian.
Hi.
We have Maria here in the back.
Hi.
And we're tutors for the Game Lab at the Klagenfurt University. And this is technically the last Game Lab. So what are Game Labs? Florian, do you want to run it through?
Yeah, basically Game Labs is a sort of open forum for students from the university, for the game study students obviously, and generally for people who are interested in games. And we usually introduce some sort of topic that we want to talk about, then we pick games about that, then we play the games together with the students. And then we sort of discuss what features we can see in the games, whether it's good design or bad design, that kind of thing. So it's really like an open forum to try out things that you maybe know about games and also maybe broaden your knowledge about games. So it's sort of there for everyone to learn something and put their opinion out.
So what are we playing today? Today we're gonna, or what is actually the topic of today? Today's the it's the epilogue, not the prologue. I did that wrong before. So we're gonna do the epilogue, which basically we talk about game studies. We talk about what we did at the university, and on the side we're gonna play a game by Atmos Games, or many people know the indie game developer as Thomas Brush. We're gonna play his new game Neversong, which is a pretty interesting game and just maybe also nice to play on the side. And you guys can ask us everything you want about game studies, game engineering, indie game development, whatever you feel like. And yeah, otherwise we're just gonna be chatting about our studies. Okay, now let me switch. Okay. So we're gonna play. Yeah. We're gonna play sound settings. So we're just gonna.
Oh my god, is that a slider? Wait, is it 2 sliders?
Yeah, it's 2 sliders.
Oh my god, I can't handle this. This is too much. Who's actually gonna play?
I don't know who wants to play. Who wants to talk the most?
You're sitting closest to the mic, so it would
Yeah.
be the best if you talk about.
Ah, God damn it. Okay, take it, Maria.
Oh, God.
Or do you want to play Florian?
No.
He's our guest. Okay, no? Okay. Okay.
I know nothing about this game, by the way.
Same.
I only know that it's made by Thomas Brush, and that it is called something else.
Once Upon a Coma.
Yeah, but that's about it. I don't really know anything about the gameplay or anything.
Me neither. I actually don't know anything about the story. What I know, I see a question in the chat from Mac Average. We just gotta make the chat a little bit bigger so we see all the things. Who actually followed us before, so thank you very much for following Mac Average. And oh, Alec. Hi, Alec.
Oh,
Thanks for following.
Hi, Alec.
So yeah, the game is not a horror game. The game is more of a. The game is more of a. I think it can best be described as. Yeah. Like from what I've gathered, it's a game about mental. No, not mental. It's not about mental illnesses, but it's about a kid in a coma. And that's all I know, right? So it's like either you are in this coma and you don't want to get out, or we have to experience the story. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just have like some clues from because I saw development and whatnot. But yeah, we'll dive into it together. I need to get you back into the game. There you go.
Nice.
Go.
Should I start?
Start the game.
Alright. Okay, let's start. Okay, oh my god. What do I choose? No, just kidding.
Choose save file 3 Because if you do, you get a special item. No, you don't.
That would actually be a funny thing to implement. I have to say. Oh, it's so cute.
You walk like that. That's literally the walking animation.
Oh my god.
Oh,
okay.
really?
Yeah, the game.
Ah, there we go. It's a moving story.
Told you, lost on hope.
Okay.
It's a traumatic death. I just read some pieces of words there. To those who suffer, know that you're not alone. Please ask for help. Oh, that's a very strong
Once
message.
upon a
to start with.
time, there was a boy, an orphan without a single toy. His name was Pete. His world
That looks
was
very
grey. Until he found a friend one day.
I hope you guys hear this
It was
the game
no
too.
normal friend he'd found. She was but the prettiest girl in town. From that day on, the summer bore adventures every single morn. Her name was Wren, so young and gay. She even had a small piano she'd play. From sharps and flats to middle C,
Yeah,
I think so
taught
too, yeah.
very much.
to play and read. But on one
read?
fateful evening, they went
No,
looking
his name is
for
Pete.
some place to play. Pete and
That's
Wren
it.
stumbled
Connection makes
Everything
no
is
sense,
rhyming.
right?
Everything is
onto
rhyming.
an
Okay.
abandoned asylum floor. And from the shadows, a face of white snatched poor Wren out of sight.
I'm gonna go on a wild,
He
like, I'm
was
gonna
not
go
like
on
Wren at all.
guessing
He
stream,
was
and I'm
timid,
gonna say that this is all
scared,
metaphor for
and
other things
small.
happening.
And this was his last farewell.
Maybe.
For Pete into a coma fell.
Oh, very little. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, can you move the bottle a little bit so I can see the chat?
Yeah, sure.
Generations of Ryan.
Jump scare behind the last page, calling it.
Almost. Oh my god, we're on fire.
We're behind the fire. What are you talking
Look at
about?
it. It's so jumpy.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
love
god,
it.
that looks so weird.
Like this game, like I can say one thing about Thomas Brush, his art style and the games he makes are just professional on all levels, right?
It's so squishy.
Yeah, that's like a rubber ball.
Okay.
By the way, remember how I told you that you can walk on everything that's black?
Yeah.
You can walk on everything that's black, but the bench. The bench
Yeah, I
is
was
red.
about to say, wait, I'm standing. I'm literally standing on something that's red. You're like, what are you saying? Oh, okay, wait. I cannot jump.
What a jolly fellow. Yeah, it's actually, it's a very jolly fellow. It's pretty cool. Like, I love this game's art style and feeling already.
I don't understand why this has like this red or yellow border. Can I do something there, like the back?
No, I think it's just like a cover that's on top of it, right?
Oh, like a blanket.
Yeah.
Evie is doing fun stuff in the background.
Our puppy's playing with a piece of wood. So yeah, let's just talk about game studies in general. Oh god, this is so cool.
Okay.
Nice. So I'm just gonna ask people some questions. Florian, what did you expect when you studied game studies and engineering?
That's a good question. Like when I wrote my bachelor's thesis, I was still like very much in the humanities side of things. I wrote my bachelor's thesis about Metal Gear Solid and how narration works in these games,
Yeah.
and it was mostly still this sort of humanities focus that I had. So a lot of like narrative theory and whatever, like sort of adapted to games already, but I didn't really think too much about the technical aspect. It was like, yeah, there's interactions and things like that, but I didn't think much deeper into the engineering side of things, like how a system works, what code is, or whatever. And that was kind of interesting because I think my opinion of games, or my understanding of games, has very drastically changed since then, because I can make much more elaborate arguments about how games actually work and how they do stuff, simply because I have a better understanding of the tech that's behind there. So I think it was a very enriching experience to actually get here, and I think it was a good choice to actually do this.
I personally can just join in on that. I think you have to remember the letters on the doors, by the way. And there's a door all the way back.
Nobody told me that I have to do that.
I mean, there's letters on the door. No, anyway, I can chime in on that because
Chad, remember
when I
the letters.
yeah, Chad, write the letters down. It's M. Wait, it's L M L I E
Perfect.
M L I E. Okay, cool. Thanks, Alec. So yeah, I can just chime in on that, right? Because I had only the other side of the spectrum. Like I was only a game programmer, not even a game programmer, right? And wow. Oh, that's the doors like M L I E
Smile.
said smile.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have to remember that. That's a very cool hint. Anyway, so I only had the programming side of things, right? And so when I came here, I learned so much more about games because I didn't even think of all the things games could do. For me, games were just games. They were just entertainment. They were like playing with friends, competition and whatnot. But like there's so like now I know so much more about games. Like if I look at this game, I can already tell you so many different things, right? What mood is conveyed there, what the mood does with the player.
Can you tell me what mood this is? The guy with the knife standing outside the
It's
mirror?
silly because he looks silly. Look, he's
Yeah.
like swaying a little bit.
Like, he's so tall, you know, like he can't stand properly. Like the wind is taking him.
That's a short people thing.
Exactly, that was the point of it.
We have to.
Oh,
we
there's
have,
another one.
I'll believe.
Oh my god, is this like a PT situation where I have to go through the fucking thing 5 times?
Yeah, you have to look now. M is
Please
open.
Believe V? Yeah, because I activated S.
Oh my
There's
god,
more.
that makes
Maybe guys
sense.
there.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the feeling the game's conveying, go on.
Yeah, like the feelings that games convey, like their purpose and stuff. But you fucked
Oh,
up,
yeah.
by the way.
Yep, I did.
You have to go all the way back.
This is stupid. Why don't you go
No,
all the way back?
you just fucked up. So yours.
All your fault.
Yeah, and it's not only that, right? I also got a huge insight into, for example, I never knew about game jams, right? And game jams are so interesting because you can make games and you have to go to the other side to the S, I think. I think the more you fuck up, the deeper you go in, because also the clock is spinning.
Yeah,
up.
everything is getting like a little bit messier.
Oh,
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I don't like that.
I hope they don't
Okay.
crash through the window.
Also the clock is gone crazy.
The thing is tilted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a thing, right? It's you by studying game studies and game engineering, like by seeing both parts of both sides of the spectrum, you just get to know, you just get so much more into believe the lie. Okay, you just get more into detail about all the things that are happening. Oh, nice. Wanna
Hello?
go?
Hello?
This game is so good. Anyway,
Wait, what do I do now?
down. I think you go further
Or
down.
I go answer the phone.
Wait, no. The L is
I
no.
did it though.
Okay, so go answer the phone, yeah. Florian.
Oh, there is a question. Florian, did you struggle a lot with the engineering part of the degree? As a programming engineer, I'm not aware if humanities people struggled with that part a lot. I think it really depends on which seminars you have to do and what kind of requirements are in there. For instance, we had courses on computer graphics, which was fairly doable, also because I sort of had flexibility in what I can do. So doing computer graphics was still kind of okay. With the actual programming, like coding and things like that, it really depended on what we actually had to do, what the complexity of that is. I tried my hands on a few very coding-heavy seminars, and those I found very difficult to actually finish. So I think it really depends on how difficult it is. If you like need to know a proper coding language like already, then it's definitely hard. But I usually felt like there were enough seminars where it was like easier to do them, so it wasn't always that bad. It's just sometimes you just have to look which seminars fit the professional skills I have and how much am I willing to, work on top of that to get an understanding of what else is there. So it really depends. But I think it's probably also for you as the tech people, it was probably also the same when you had to do humanities seminars that all of a sudden you had to start writing essays which I mean, even if you do like tech writing and things like that, it's very different from writing like in the humanities, where you have to know like proper paragraph structure, and you have to have your body of like literature that you refer to. So I think we both had like both sides probably had like struggles where it was harder. And then I guess for you it also depended on which seminars am I capable of doing and what do I have to do in seminars.
Yeah. Like what I really noticed is also that some seminar. Can you get back up? You can. Okay, I think you can jump over though, but I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, if you walk down, you probably can also walk backwards, like all the way down. And like now backwards. Okay, no, you can't. Okay. No, like I can agree to that, like because we had a lot of seminars. For example, as a Clockwork Games, thanks for follow. We also enjoyed your stream, by the way. We watched the entire thing. And yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, I can agree, right? Some seminars are very different from what I was used to, like game studies and thinking about people, thinking about their feelings, thinking about their problems. That was all not things that I was actually like, you know, in a game as a programmer, software engineer, you more think about problems that happen in your machine, right? Instead of problems that happen in other people and stuff like that. So actually, you can learn a completely different side, not only about games, but also about people and emotions and philosophy and psychology and all those things, right? And it's less. I think it's less hard. Like it's easier. Let's say like it's easier for tech people to get into these studies, because what we have to do is just learn to write essays and stuff, right, and understand just like basic understanding of different concepts, right, which is what we usually also do, right, and also in programming we just are trained to grasp concepts and apply them very quickly, right? So it's more about the writing and getting used to express yourself in some kind of way, right? And also, for example, if I look at games, express things about games differently, right? Because I can say, yeah, this game looks cool and everything, but there's so much more you can say about all of this, right?
As Ren was kidnapped.
I think you want to come over a little bit more to be in the camera. Yeah, okay. I don't know if it's too much. Okay, no, it's already enough. So just like so you're not on the border.
Yeah, no, but I can definitely vouch for that too.
It's all right, buddy.
Like,
just be careful asking stupid questions.
I studied game development.
I, for one, am about to head out to look for my dad because of you.
Beforehand.
After I finish counting, of
I
course.
am also in a position where, for example, I don't programming, right? You took me out of the game.
I had to tab you out because you're talking a little quiet, so it's.
Oh yeah, wait. I can just nail it forward. But yeah, basically, like I had no idea about like game studies, right? Like about the whole the magic circle and all these things that we talked about, all the theory behind it, about the different kinds of play, even like these are things I never like talked about during my bachelor studies. We were like, okay, this is how you make a game, this is how you get the player invested in it, and that's it, right? And I was like focused on being, yeah, you can also.
I'm just gonna make it quieter.
Oh, okay. And so yeah, basically, I was focused on the game development part, and I also like I didn't have programming background, didn't have like the theory background, and so I got basically in our environment of like this mix of like humanities people, programmers, and then just like all of the different disciplines that are like coming together, got like insight of like all of those things, right? And also like just because like you as a programmer and you as a literature with a literature background, right, or like humanities background, it's you have like help from all sides, and everybody just like brings their knowledge together, and I think that's also like what's necessary for video games in general.
Finally awake.
Because like everybody has a different input, which you need.
I was about to adventure out to the Spiderian
better games.
for the grown-ups.
Well, what is this?
This is super interesting.
But I think like this interdisciplinary approach that you have, it's sort of, I think it's very synergetic. It's like we benefit from each other's knowledge also in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's also interesting, at least for me, I always feel like you start to understand that there's people whose brains just work differently.
Yeah.
Like because we're socialized in different environments, in different university degrees, and it sort of it puts a certain mindset on you and a certain way of thinking, and it's interesting to see that there are people who have like completely different approaches, you know, as a means of understanding that there's also different ways of thinking about things. So I think this is very like enriching for your own personality, also how you then approach games or whatever you want to do with that degree.
Yeah, that's for sure, right? And the degree is also like you can. You don't even have like if you're interested in games and if you're interested in also philosophical viewpoints and stuff like that, right? This degree is not only there to just bring you into the industry, but also you can do so much more with it, right? You can just like learn about different concepts in games. You can analyze games. You can write entire books about games by stuff you learn here, right? And yeah, that's the interesting thing, right? It's not just your step into not a step into the game industry, but also like games in general, right?
For example, I had a talk with one colleague at the university, and basically she also suggested we could technically, with our degree, we're perfect for game journalism.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
Oh my god, no, you do this. I'm not doing anything music related. No.
CGC, oh my god.
Because we are, after this degree, capable of critically, correctly, or like not correctly, but critically analyzing a game from a gamer perspective, from a developer perspective, from a game analyst perspective. Because of all the broad knowledge we have acquired over the years.
Yep.
Which would be very interesting, but like we had to do this for university, like analyze games. And that would very much make sense to do it as a job.
So in a sense, it's probably like more elaborate journalism in a way, simply because you are working directly with the material, rather than maybe just having games as a hobby and then studying journalism. So it's a different way of getting to the same job, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And with like the theoretical knowledge, I always feel like your arguments are just more profound and more professional in what you're doing, simply because you have worked more in depth with things.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, the whole reason why I don't like Life is Strange is like, from a gamer perspective, it's like, yeah, of course you're gonna be annoyed that the game has only like 2 endings, and technically all the choices that you had throughout the game don't really matter.
Yeah.
But like from a game developer perspective, it's like, of course I'm not gonna sit and make 12 different endings. I would need 5 more years to finish the game. It's like.
Yeah, I think that also like you also learn a lot about games if you if you choose to do these studies and you learn a different approach to games, right? You also see games completely different. By the way, thanks Alec for writing the things in there, because I totally already forgot the song that I have to play.
CGB.
Yeah. So you also learn different, like you look at games completely in a different way, and that's a very interesting way, right? It's like what does this game do with us now, and it's like, and then you learn about it, and you can enjoy and experience the game in a different way. That's interesting, right? So it's C G. I did it, boys.
Well, this game does so far is just like showing you what you have to do. Or like
I have a weapon.
Oh.
Redwood slugger. Okay.
Wait, because I just clicked the button and the weapon was already there. Look.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh my god, it's Hollow Knight.
The game is basically just like showing you what you have to interact with to solve the current puzzle, but
Yeah.
like what you actually, how you need to interact with it shows you like later in the level. Because like right now it showed us at the end, right off the start, you interact with it, but you didn't know what you have to do.
And then later you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the first area with doors, right? Because like I could interact with them at the beginning, but I didn't know in which order. Dusty mattress. Ren's parents are so nice. Oh, they let you live there?
Sleeping here builds to old orphanage. Day.
Okay, so they
We're an
allowed
orphan.
you.
Yeah. See, we slowly learn about the story. Okay. The way this game teaches you mechanics and tells you about the story is just so nice, and it's like it doesn't throw you into the mechanics. It's just like slowly pushes you. It's like
Yeah,
it
that's
gives
true.
you the training wheels. And it pushes you a little bit, and then you manage to drive like a meter, and then you're like super excited, and the game goes like, yeah, you did it. It's all by yourself.
Good job.
God, this game is so pretty. So what do we have here? Our jolly guys.
Not
yeah.
so jolly anymore.
Yeah, he's not so jolly anymore. No. Oh, I went back in.
Can you smash the lamps?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I have
Yeah.
to. I think that's.
No, I don't think you have to smash those.
God, I wish I could smash the lamps. Ha! I found a secret. I'm the secret finding person.
Oh!
I also found some legs.
Huh?
What does it say there?
Where?
Red Wind Park.
I think that's just a town name.
Yeah, maybe. Ah, this is so good.
Oh my god, the screen shake.
So good. Oh look. Okay, wait. I have an idea.
I think you need like a skateboard or something.
Yeah, I think I need something to skate down that path. Yeet. Nope. I cannot do it.
Almost.
God, this is so cool. It doesn't require a huge tutorial, which is very important in a game. Yeah, because like the whole, I would say this is a game with a lot of, and first of all, environmental storytelling. Because like you see all the world changing when you do stuff, but also like an environmental tutorial. Because like here we immediately know we need an umbrella, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because it's like an umbrella right there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more about like, it doesn't like literally tell you, it's just showing you like, what?
I know the name. I'm a
It's the
rascal.
little joys.
I'm a rascal. It's the little things that make a game good. Trust me.
Do you need to get the vase up there, or why is it glowing?
I think I need to destroy all of them. I think this is just like to show me, oh, if I destroy all of them, I get something.
No, I really don't think so.
Oh, this is open now. Cool. Oh, this was always open.
But yeah, like short tutorials are like the best.
Yeah.
Cause like I've been playing like Death Stranding for like I don't know 20 hours,
Still don't know what the game is
and I
about.
still feel like it's still throwing things at me that I haven't seen before. And every time I like get a package, it's like I get a call about something new that there is going on, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, that's true. It's like I feel like Death Stranding is like very exposition heavy. I think that's just something that Kojima does. Like
Probably. Yeah.
unload a huge dump of story onto you,
Yeah.
and then you have like another 10 hours of just delivering packages, but nothing happens.
Hey, look, we have the typical chat in our thing.
Nice. I feel like, yeah, you're very true about Kojima though, because like I never finished actually Metal Gear Solid 2.
Okay.
But I mean I know what happens. But like, cause like I got the collection and I never continued playing that one. But like I played that game also for like 20-30 hours or something, and every time I walked into like a cutscene, like cutscene the calls you get, I was just like, oh, here we go again. It's like another 20 minutes of just talking.
Yeah, I think I remember checking up the time on cutscenes in Metal Gear Solid 3 and 4. I think like
4 has like 2 hour, 1.5 hour cutscene or something.
yeah, I think like in total it's almost like 11 hours cutscene or something. It's a lot. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I feel like it always makes the pacing really weird because you just have these scenes where you just can do nothing.
I mean, okay, it is interesting because like
Yeah,
there is a
that's
lot
true.
of story.
Yeah.
But I remember when I played Metal Gear Solid 4 because that was the first game I played in the franchise. And it was like while I had the PS3 in my parents' living room, and my mom wanted to watch a movie, but I was in the middle of this big ass cutscene towards the end. Where you talk to, well, I don't know if I can say anything because everything is
No
spoiler.
spoiler.
But yeah, it's like, it's just a huge cutscene, and my mom was just like, hey, you turn it off, my movie's starting. I'm like, I'm just waiting, I'm not even doing anything, I'm not even playing, I'm also watching a movie.
Did you see like Alec mentioned that chat's caps that sport on it?
Yeah.
It's like the perfect.
So deep.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, they've been missing a
By the way, I know what the story is about.
What?
So technically, Ren got kidnapped in front of us, and then we fell into a coma, and now we woke up, and then we have to probably
Did we
fight her.
actually wake up?
I mean, I don't know. He says where we woke up, but I don't know. Look at Albert Einstein down there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's been jumping for so long that his hair on the top started falling out because of gravity, you know?
That makes no sense. That's physically completely.
I'm just trying to make sense of what I'm seeing, okay? All I've seen him do is just jump with a rope, so that's the only explanation I have.
It's so cool how much content is packed into just 2 scenes or 2 screens. With all those doors and objects and people. Yeah, I feel like this is a very good, this is very nicely made. Because there's so much and this all just feels alive, right?
Yeah, it feels like a small city for
Yeah.
sure. Even though it's just like 2 houses.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you should jump.
Yeah, I'm just trying the mechanics. Just like... Wait. Okay, no. All of that stuff doesn't work there.
What was the one class at university that you guys think taught you the most out of the 1.5/2, almost 2 years that we've been here?
I think it was game studies. I didn't like this class, but I think it taught me the most. No,
Thank you for your honesty.
yeah,
I walked back out.
I think I learned the most in game studies because I actually learned about the different types of play, about how you like approach all those things, what actually goes on when you play, the theories about those things, right?
I mean, it's really like it's a very good introductory lecture to give you like sort of a huge toolbox of what things there are in games and how you can approach games. And I think it's a very good way like to sort of take that into other seminars and then see how you can extend on that. So yeah.
I'm locked in this cage.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, it looks like Navi, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. A man carried her down.
I would have to
despite
talk about the
whatever
class
medication.
that
I don't see her
that
life
helped me the
longer.
most
Okay.
in terms of
Quick,
like
use the bat to-
for like now, like that now is very useful or was very useful to me. It was. It's like I learned the most in game studies, but I think I actually learned the most about game design or game studies, which helps me now in a game design class with where we learned about game design and game design documents
By
and
the way,
everything.
real quick.
And that's pretty interesting because you don't think about those things before.
Is that a bug?
Why? Yeah, I
Loading.
think it doesn't stop saving.
Nice.
I think now it should disappear. Doesn't, then it's a bug. Maybe. I don't know. It looks like a bug.
I mean, yeah, it should be gone by now.
Thomas! Rush! Fix it. No. I really like Thomas Rush's content. Okay, look! It's an enemy! It's a spider! It's not visible at all.
Whoa! Okay.
Don't die.
It's really not... Oh, it's one of those games that give you like hearts every time you kill an enemy. Parkour!
Comboisa?
Up here, Pete. It is I, the
Right.
mighty parkour
Parkour Ninja Gamboisa. At our service.
Saw some guy take her down.
The plot twist, we're actually still asleep. That might be the case.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so.
I think that the game gives off vibes as if we were still asleep. But also, after we played the tutorial, we woke up, and maybe that's why we actually woke up, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just a trick.
Egg things. She just never talked.
Navi's in the game. Yeah, I don't know why there is a Navi in the game, but it looks cute.
Ren was a parkour legend, dude.
Dragon Soul really like issues in game studies. Yeah, that's also my favorite class in terms of like
Somewhere in her house.
favorite.
The package.
Package,
But
yeah.
everything about it.
We follow the content about player psychology. Yeah, I mean, we also had a lot of courses like for those people that didn't study here, which is what this should be about, right? Is we had a class called Issues in Game Studies where we learned like issues about
Game study.
issues that games confront and issues that players confront, right? And also the industry, because we also had one seminar about work stuff, if I remember correctly, like how to deal with those crunch times and whatnot.
Oh yeah, sort of like coping
De-stressing.
techniques.
Yeah, coping and stress techniques. Yeah, so it's that class was also actually very helpful because you learn, like, you would never think that a player might, I don't know, that a player actually takes away something from a game if you don't like, of course you can think of that, right? But in a way that it was very new to me that like players can actually take away life advices from games, right? Because games are not only just for fun, they can teach you a lesson, right? For example, this game, I'm pretty sure if we would read all the dialogues instead of talking over it, right?
You would learn what hypoinflammatory disorder is.
Yeah, right? Right? I don't know. I don't know. No,
I
but
mean,
you would-
it's actually on the screen. I inflate randomly.
Yeah, like you know these people that have an
I think you have to stab
hypoinflammatory
him.
disorder
I think you have to stab him.
when he actually inflates.
Oh no, I think you can actually use him to jump over there, probably.
Wow, can you really? Is that
You
like?
just roll him over
Is
there.
it ethical to use other people to jump? Just jump.
If it's consensual, I'd say yes.
Stab him once. Stab him once.
I
See,
can't stab him.
there's
I need a needle.
there's an arrow down.
I can only stab him with a needle. Maybe stop digging.
Our dog has a dog bed, and she started today digging the bed. Like she started digging into the. There's an enemy.
Yeah, so.
I love how the enemies are like not visible at all if you don't like, because they look so much like the orange thingies. Wait, do you wanna
This is great.
fix that, or because
Yeah,
we have to stop our dog from digging holes in her bed. I wonder what these things are about, because like they feel like they're here for something important, but I don't even know if they are.
I mean, they kind of look like eyes.
Yeah, they look exactly like the enemies. That's why it's so confusing. This is a pretty easy game because whenever you kill an enemy, it gives you a heart. That's everything I noticed so far, and that's like very player friendly if you think about that. In a way. Let's see what we can do. Lauren, what was your most useful class?
I think that, for instance, the ethics seminar that we had, which was a fairly writing-intensive seminar, was quite good for me. Like on the one hand, you learn a lot about like ethics in general and how you can apply ethics to games, and sort of understand what layers of ethics can actually be found in games. And for me, it was, I think, a good way to actually try out some ideas, because we had to write a bunch of essays. So for me, it was like just try out ideas, opinions that I had, and sort of elaborate on them. And I always like these. I really enjoy these writing exercises that you can do, because it's sort of like a way for me to try out if my thoughts make sense, if I actually understand the content of the seminar and that kind of thing. So for me, it's always like sort of growing, like sort of just improving myself and my understanding of games. And I think such a seminar is a really good thing for me.
Is that someone sewing?
Yeah,
I like that seminar as well. Not because of the writing as much, because I had trouble finding topics every week. But just like because we had so many different topics. Whoa. But yeah, because we had so many different topics that we talked about, and the talking itself, right? Because it was like it was more of a discussion in class. And so like everybody could just like throw in some ideas, their opinions, and it was just like a big discussion with everybody. And because everybody has like such a different background, it just like became very interesting fast.
Can we talk about that animation? Can we just talk about that animation? How good it's punky.
That's me, Punky.
Very punky. His dance. Oh my god, is he doing the one? Oh my god, what are they called? The people that are dance like this with the whole. I'm not guy.
Tectonic?
Yes.
Yeah,
It looks very much like it.
maybe he is. He's also clapping.
Yeah.
Clapping.
Wow. Okay.
He wants to dance with us. It's my birthday. Oh my god, we have to dance with him. Come on, let's dance with him. Sure. Think about it. Whispered in my ear.
Oh my god, what are you, my Animal Crossing villager? The bugs under my floor said that it's gonna be a nice day today. It's like, what are you talking about, sure?
This person really much seems like okay. So far, the
The
people.
slug was here.
Yeah, so far the people that we got to meet here are really weird.
Aren't they also all children?
I think so, yeah. I think we're still in a coma.
Yeah.
But Navi has a key.
A needle. Oh, it's for the
Inflated person.
disorder person. Yes.
Yeah. That's how you get playtime, by the way. You always let people run back and forth.
Very true.
God, the game is still loading.
It's never gonna stop.
Okay, if you had to say the one thing that you learned the most like no, not that you learned the most of, that you like the one thing that you learned that you will probably always remember about here. Like if you had to tell someone, hey, like if someone would come up to you guys and say, what's the one thing that you learned here, or what's the one most important thing that you took away from this study? Pop me. You should pop him.
I'm not gonna indulge in your kinks, young man.
He looks very.
He fell.
No, we can fall too. Okay,
Nice.
go.
I think. Okay. I think the one thing would be that that might sound silly, but if you want to be a game developer, you have to make games. Which sounds very obvious, but it's something that took me until studying here to realize, basically, because I honestly I didn't do anything with my bachelor's degree, right? I didn't have a game to show. I did 2 game jams that were not very successful in my bachelor studies, and here I did like I don't know 5 in a year.
In a few months.
In a few months, actually, and now like I have a portfolio of games that I made on stuff that I worked on, and yeah, also because of the game jams, like the game jams that the university itself is organizing. Basically, you get to make games, even if you're not a programmer, even if you're not an artist. There's like, I think like the first game jam that we did like with our year was like, it was such a surprise to me that everybody was working together so much. Like literally, you had people walking from one table to the other and helping each other out constantly. Somebody needed voice acting, so they just like called out who has time, and like people from all different kind of groups stood up and went to help immediately. And just like this feeling of actually making games, it's just like something that is that just like very fulfilling as a game development student or a game studies and engineering student, because you get to put all of that to use.
You have to come a little further.
Oh, I'm a little slow. A little quiet again.
Slow.
Yeah, I'm also a little slow. And yeah, basically, this is what I came here for, right? To make games, and if you want to be a game developer, you have to make games. And now I really feel like one, or I didn't do that, or I didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, now I have basically this experience in all these little projects that I made, even if it was just like a game in Twine, right? Just like a 5-minute game in Twine that we made.
Game in Peak, wait.
Yeah, that was a whole other experience. But yeah, like this is just like something that people I think should keep in mind, and something that I will like. Making games is what makes you a game developer, and not a degree or anything.
That makes
You
a
have
lot.
to want it.
That makes a lot of sense, but it's also something I didn't think about, because I was like, yeah, I come here, I study, and I just like become a game developer, but like you have to do something, like you have to make games, write about games, learn about games in order to be in the industry, right? What is your opinion?
You make
about
the industry in the end.
Yeah. What is your opinion about that? Like, what's the one thing that you took away?
I think I would say maybe my internship. I think that was like the part that allowed me the most freedom and also the most growth. Because my internship was basically I co-organized a conference in Vienna, like the conference that is connected to the Game City that's taking part in Vienna. Every year it's called the Frog Conference, Future and Reality of Gaming, and basically I was in the committee, so
I'm just skipping all the time.
so yeah, I was in the committee, and I got to acquire like keynote speakers and get people in for talks and things like that, and I also got to work on my own talk. Like so I also gave a presentation. I was one of the keynote speakers there, so I think it was a lot of learning experience in the sense that I could just try out my own thing and then even present it at a conference and see what other people, like for instance, like people from the industry or maybe people who already have a PhD and work with games, what they think of my opinions. Like, does the things that I work on make sense? What do you think of that? What can I improve? and that kind of thing. I think that was a very enriching experience, and also beyond the conference itself, we also added the publication to that. So also got to learn to do some editing, some lecturing, and things like that, and actually, producing like a 300-page book in the end that will then be published and has my name on it. So I think that's something that you can be really proud of, to have that kind of thing on your portfolio as well. Like, especially if you want to go for an academia focus or something like that, it totally makes sense to take these opportunities as well. So I guess in a sense, I'm very thankful that the people that run GSE are just very super open to the things that you can do, and then in that way they're also very helpful and try to find opportunities for you to realize your own ideas, rather than telling you like you need to write on this topic or you need to work on that. It's like we have so much freedom here, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I can see that point, because like also I tried, or I the reason why we're here is because all of us applied as a tutor, right? And I specifically tried to change one, or not try to change one course, but I think you need this to be down so you can push the bubble guy over. No, because like we had the seminar about coding, which was not really focused on actually programming. So what I did is I talked to one of my professors as soon as the position opened, and then I tried or I asked if we could change the seminar up a little bit, make it more about coding, and then everyone was immediately excited about the idea, and I was able to do what I actually wanted to do and bring my own ideas into this program, and that's, I think, one of the things that makes it great.
Thing had taken
Cutscene.
Totally mad. I'm just a child. But his wrinkling face only smiled.
Also, it's a cycle.
I'm starving, and I need to eat. So I snatched your
Oh my god.
the perfect treat. A snack like that is said to make your wrinkling skin look younger.
Okay. I'm actually impressed by all the rhyming because I'm terrible at that. So.
I think if you have a lot of time, I like that Thomas rushed us to all of this, or most of the things here himself, the art, the music, and I have a video of how he animates that thing over there, and that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is that thing? Is that the centipede?
Very creepy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think you can attack it, yeah.
No, wait.
Wow. I have a theory. Never mind. It's a really
Come on!
I think I'm insane, but I've grown up.
What?
You skipped the dialogue there where she explained everything.
She didn't. She just said she thinks it's a grown-up. I was reading it.
Attack it.
I
Jump and attack it.
can't.
Hit the bubbles.
Yeah, and the obvious weak point.
Yeah, you can't attack it. Push the bubbly guy out.
But yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna push it now. But yeah, what you said, that is very true. That like, everybody in this program is like super supportive of. Okay, and now
No, first.
Oh.
All the way home.
Look what you did, Puss Man. Now I'm all covered in sand.
Great observation. A holy precious man is dead. Wow, how dare you?
Kidding, right? You roll me through sand and expect me to be nice?
Problem.
How about don't make me mad, idiot, and I'll be nice? No wonder Ren ran off and got herself kidnapped. She couldn't stand you.
What is wrong with that guy?
Why are we helping that guy?
Just gonna punch you.
That's funny.
Okay, I didn't expect that to go that far, but I guess it did.
Oh, that part is part of the thing below.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed.
Also, the researcher kid was
Pushing for water.
Was talking about the mile-long centipede.
Oh yeah, wait.
Also, whose picture is this?
It's me.
Yeah, where am I supposed to?
Further. I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe into
More
the...
sand.
Ew. Ew, is that maggots?
Sure did. It's,
Oh no, that's his shoes. Those were maggots.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
Wow, you're mean. Why are you mean to the round kid?
he's mean.
Need a tire. Oh, you need him to jump up there. No, you need him to jump up there.
Oh. No, come back.
I love you. Yeah, perfect. Nice. You used round kick. I'm gonna say it wrong.
What are you doing? Oh my god, you're also dancing.
I love the dance.
Hey, Pete, it's me.
It's Gum Toddler.
Why is everybody called some things gum?
I don't know. Maybe they're ninjas.
With my big bro gone poison.
Okay.
Seen him around?
This game has a lot of loading time.
Man, that guy in the corner hasn't stopped jumping.
What darn? He wish I could beat his butt. I am sick of him tricking me. I can never reach him though on those eggs. Maybe
Eggs?
if I had that bat.
Maybe he has eggs.
Did you know that you can
I don't know.
swing that bat when you jump?
You can go a bit higher. Okay, jump and that so you can go higher.
Oh.
Wait, run into the bus. No, run into the bus.
Ah, yeah, you can probably like
Attack it,
open
attack it.
that.
I thought you could attack it. Jump again. There's a centipede again. Jump again. Nice. Ah, jump in, there's a secret. Hello? That was funny. That was funny. I know exactly what happened. It has no fall damage. I know exactly what happened here. Oh, Purple Malice is here. Hi, Purple Malice.
Hey.
It's one of our friends. So Purple Malice, this is Florian. He's also a tutor at
Hi.
university.
Uh-oh.
Let's pick one.
Yeah, they were there before as well. Yeah.
Come back. Hey. Oh god, he's got friends. Okay. Not so tough, not so tough. Ah!
Why are you yelling?
Because he got me!
Attack now, go. You did it. You did it. Jump
With these
into it.
games, I'm always so paranoid because, like, you don't have a lot of health.
Yeah, but you get health every
also,
single
and
time.
also, I'm terrible with hitboxes.
Our hitbox is terrible with you.
Yeah, obviously that one.
One thing I noticed is I think that you only because I thought you only get money when you kill them, like when you run your full health, but not when you're like, but that's wrong. That's
I don't know what the deal is with them.
I don't know. They're just like bubbles.
Maybe that's eggs where the things hatch from.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Centipedes.
Yeah, maybe.
that's handy.
Because like, why would you put them there?
If I find one more kid in a... Are those bones?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's no kids, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Formerly known as
Is
kids.
that
And
a-
there's also a head.
Is that
stuck.
a... shit, what is his name? Bloodborne Patches.
What?
Patches.
Yeah, the spider. The spider with a human head
Oh my god.
that pushes you off
No, but it's
cliffs.
actually Ren, right?
Yeah, this is Ren. And that's the guy that
It's
that's
like, Ren, hello, I'm right here.
jump over it. Jump over it.
Aww.
This is such a cool system with the two
I
lights.
think I missed something.
Yeah, you have to go down.
Oh my god, look, it has an apron!
That's so cute.
Centipede isn't wearing an apron.
Huh.
Nice. I love the voice acting in this game.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't even know what we're doing. I don't even know what we're supposed
I
to.
opened the thing that I skipped, I think.
Oh yeah, cool. Go. You didn't skip it.
Yeah, I guess I was supposed to come here all along. Ah, haha.
Jump on the sides.
Hello?
No, hit it. Hit it.
Oh.
Hitting is.
Oh,
That's so
so that's
funny.
how it works.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's
Just kill them. They're tiny spiderlings.
yeah. Oh, that's why.
That's why I don't like them.
That's why I'm so bad. at doing anything.
Hey, what else?
Ren!
push it out.
Okay, never mind.
She's screaming. They're so tiny, even on the camera. It's got like a big. Look how tiny Maria is. She's super tiny on the screen.
I know what you're talking about. I'm super tall. Stupid.
God, this is so funny. Like just the elevators here are so funny already.
Oh, this is gross.
That's maggots, I think. Attack the maggots.
I
No,
mean,
you have to go back down.
This did nothing.
Yep. We're in a nest, so technically I think we're just like supposed to kill stuff here.
Oh, by the way, did you see the enemies? They also like are just inside of each other.
Oh yeah, I saw that there. Yeah.
Because we were wondering about that.
Yeah, like I'm also thinking of like what level of polish is too much, and what should you polish, and that's always like a big question in game development. Look, it's spider boss you have to fight.
I'm sleeping. Shh.
Attack it.
Like I can't.
Wait, so we made a full circle for nothing? No, we didn't.
Why a full circle?
Oh, I thought we made a full circle, but we didn't.
Wait,
Look
how
at the butterfly.
Been here?
It looks like we've been here, right?
Oh, I killed the butterfly.
Why did you kill the butterfly?
I didn't
Hello?
think I was able to do so, to be honest.
That's
Just trying out things.
I know
I
we've
think-
been here.
I think
Living with the consequences.
Yeah.
I think we went full circle. I have no idea where we have to go.
The game didn't warn me about the consequences. So, it's a bad game. No, it's not. Okay, what do we have to do? What do we have to do? Because, like, I don't know why we have to push the guy all the way to the other side, right? Oh, maybe in there. On the other side of the elevator. You can walk in there?
No.
Ah, don't jump down. Nice. I don't know.
This
It's...
doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Maybe back down.
I don't understand why I have to jump twice, but
Here. I don't maybe to avoid mistaking things. I think it just opened the shortcut. Go back. Let's see where we have to go. Maybe we have to go back out.
maybe.
Maybe Ball Kid is still around.
Should I finally do something with this?
No, they will never let you do something with
Huh.
this. So okay, so we only have like a few more minutes left.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
what
yeah,
the-
right. I forgot about
What
that.
do we want to talk about? What do we want to talk about?
I want.
So look at the dance and just appreciate it for a second. Push the
Yeah,
fat
that's
bit down.
You're,
Sorry.
you're coming with me.
No, we don't have to go down. We have to go to the other side. I think I know where we have to go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, all the way back. I think there was an elevator, and if you take that elevator, that house is in the air. That house is the corner of the house is in the air. I can see that.
I'm pretty sure.
Now, no, all the way to the other side. I think all the way to the other side there's an elevator which you can push up one more. Water is so cool. Water looks so watery. Go in there. It's in there. Lap
I
the
think
kid,
it's
right?
yeah.
Pete, welcome to my
Yeah,
first
welcome here.
blood fact.
In here, we've read that dialogue,
We
everyone.
skipped that dialogue already.
What would you tell someone that wants to study here with... Oh, I know what you have to do. See the thing up there?
Yeah, but how do I get up there?
I don't know. Try it. Learn it. The kid. The round kid.
He's not gonna help me get all the way
Yeah,
there.
no, but up to the black thing, see?
Are you sure?
Yeah, the platform.
I don't think I can jump all
I
the
think
way.
you can.
Okay.
I think you should.
Push back.
No, like, what advice or what requirements should someone have if they come here? If they wanna study game development at the Alpen Adria University. Or game studies in engineering, actually.
I think honestly, just liking games.
Yeah, I mean, then you definitely need like a passion for games. Otherwise, I mean, even in the end, you actually have to come up with a game prototype. So you really
Yeah.
have to like games to the extent that you can actually make one. So I don't know, maybe sort of some openness towards also trying new things, because you know when you have a humanities degree, you have to learn some sort of coding or some sort of tech related
Yeah.
stuff. So like
There's no way I'm jumping up there.
you know, just sort of knowing that you sort of have to maybe extend beyond your comfort zone in a way as well.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and also for those in chat, like about the game prototype that you have to make, the university will provide you with courses on how you learn how to make those prototypes. So don't worry, you don't have to know how to program or anything, because there's a lot of tools that you can use to make game prototypes, and yeah, you'll get taught all of the things that you need,
Yeah.
like to do the things, right?
Exactly.
And I think I figured out what you have to do.
Take the kid with us.
You know how he's all sticky now and how we had a dialogue for that? You know how there was sand before? I think I'm gonna push him into sand now without getting him washed off. Like, we'll wash the sticky things up, or
Yeah.
the sand, so I have to push him all the way to the other side, all the way down to get him to the sticky, like to the sand, into the sand. Because now he's sticky, Have to get him into sand as well.
Okay.
I think that's the plan here. Where will you see games in the game industry in like 10 years? Oh god, that's like a question. I didn't even know if anyone can answer that question.
That's very true. I just don't. Personally, I'm not a big fan of VR.
Okay.
Because like a lot of people say like VR is the next big thing, and then games are gonna be like more immersive with the whole thing because you're technically like in the game or it feels like you're in the game. And I personally don't even like it all that much. I like the idea of it. But who knows, maybe that is actually the next best thing. Or like the next big thing that's gonna happen in the game industry. That it's gonna become like more accessible to everyone. Oh yeah, the same.
Yeah, I mean that's probably like the biggest issue, like making VR like accessible to everyone, especially because it's still very expensive.
Exactly, yeah.
And especially like with Oculus, you just need a huge room to actually be able to play the VR things, and then you might also need a proper gaming PC to actually run these games.
Wait, what happens now if you put down?
I just bugged
Yeah,
the kid down.
kind of did.
It's okay. It's
Is
gonna
the
bug.
elevator gonna stop?
It's
him?
gonna bug back out.
Yeah.
I know how physics in Unity work. I know my Unity. Oh, I know what I have to do.
Also, you have to get upright.
Yeah. Do cosplay. So I mean, I really enjoy VR in terms of like the gameplay you have there, but I think the technology, like in 10 years, I'm pretty sure we can play Call of Duty standing on one spot on like those military machines, like those military treadmills that where you don't move actually, but you move, right? Like that you can play Call of Duty on those and just like be in the game. Not only that, right? In most of the games, right? And I can see in 10 years maybe you can play The Last of Us, not The Last of Us.
Versus.
No, the game where with all the choices that you don't like.
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. You can play literally Life is Strange, but making actual choices in the world. Like you do stuff in the world. You, for example, take a muck and throw it at people, right? And then something happens. I don't know, something like that, right?
I mean, then that would actually be like an interesting take on agency and things like that.
Yeah.
Simply because it at least feels like you're like really in the world and not
Yeah.
just holding a controller. Even though technically you do hold a controller, but you know it feels like you're in there.
Yeah, I think that also changes a lot on, like, that will also change a lot on our social life, right? Because games are getting progressively more, like, accepted by society, right? Because also kids that were gamers grow up and now are parents of gamers, right?
I don't know what you're trying to do.
I got up there, right?
I mean, yeah, but okay. No,
No.
I mean, because you just jumped down and like.
Yeah, no, and I also think that will have a huge impact, right? Also on, like, not only what games are made, but also how games are seen by society, right? And games, if you think about them, they're actually a great tool of also just like connecting people because.
Totally, yeah.
And I saw that in this university, right? How often have I just joined the seminar and then made friends immediately just because games is what connects us, right? And also a lot of professors also accept those things because, for example, we had a class about screwball, right? And the professor was also like, "Oh yeah, so you're from game studies. Maybe you want to write about screwball in games, right?"
Oh,
And that's also
that's
like
cool.
And a lot of people start accepting those things, right? And I think that's great. And I think raising awareness, like also with university programs like this, because my parents would have never taken me serious if I wouldn't have been like, yeah, I want to be in the industry and I'm going to study this because there's a university about this, right? So actually, now that my parents know that there's a university about this, they take it more serious,
Yep.
right?
That's true.
Hope I live long enough to see a sword art online type of technology emerge. I don't know what that's about.
Basically, you are in game. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're, like you have like your avatar in the game. It's like imagine VR chat, but like your consciousness somewhat is in the game. I think I never watched it online. I just know the concept. But yeah, basically just like that. It's like as immersive as it gets. Like you are actually like part of this.
Isn't that kind of what Elon Musk is working on with Neuralink? Like
I
putting
guess,
stuff
but it's like-
into your brain.
But it's like also Elon Musk, so it's like I don't know how seriously I want to take this.
This kit is now full of sand, full of
Maggots,
sticky things, and spider eggs.
Like, how gross can we get it? Oh my god, is he gonna get eaten? Oh
Yes!
my god, he's gonna get eaten!
Yes!
Holy shit!
You deserve it!
A treat! Oh my god, is this Mrs. Richardson?
I think like the fact that the professor is a monster and eats a kid.
And the fact that we made basically, okay, think
We
about
just
this.
made dinner.
Yeah, we like, okay, we as the player didn't know what we were doing, right? We just like rolled him around until something happens.
Yeah.
But like the kid is obviously doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's his mom.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Eat it! Eat it!
Oh my god, that's even worse. Mrs. Richard. Oh my god, it's a boss fight now?
Yeah, I told you it's a boss fight. I know that this is an enemy because I.
You would keep jumping into him.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is the obvious
That's
weak
right.
point.
Of course, it's the obvious weak point. What else would it be? This is so
So
cool.
you have to lure her into jumping down.
So what we learned now is that parents are bad. In this. I mean, that's what we learned, right? That's what.
Parents eat you.
What's the song thing on top? Oh, we have. To
I have no idea.
song. Oh, that's haha. That's so cool.
You got some health back though.
Yeah, we have to do this 5 times. I love how I don't see what's happening.
Yeah, also, I have no idea what's going on. I hope.
This sounds so cool. Oh yeah, I saw all of that.
Oh my god, she's breaking.
It's funny. It's funny how I totally know what the boss fight is about only by seeing what how it was animated. This is such a cool boss fight.
Everything's so dark.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's perfectly
I
fine.
mean, yeah.
And I think because someone asked if this is a horror, Alec asked if this is a horror game, and I think we're very close in that direction. Like, as maybe you could see it as a horror game.
I mean, definitely has horror elements in it.
Yeah. It is a very dark game that is like that pays a lot of like a lot of detail is in the mood of the game, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's very atmospheric. I'm yelling.
No. This is such a cool attack. This left-right thing. It just feels so nice. Okay, we got this. We're just gonna. The butterfly has to die.
No.
I killed the butterfly.
No.
There you go. I'm you.
Good job.
One more. We have to get one. This game is a lot about sound, right? The piano, the sound thing.
Gee, is it because the title is Neversong?
Oh, that makes sense.
Also, that's straight up cheat.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw that on the Terminator look.
Nice.
Ah, we got all the. We collected song points.
Song points.
I don't know. There's
Can
song.
you jump? It's an LP. It's Bayonetta.
It's Oh my god.
And a new song. Yay!
I think that our beloved, what's her name, Ren, said we shouldn't forget the song. It's Spiderian Overtune. Scream from Overture. Sorry. Scream from the lengthy. Oh, Mr. Richardson. Nice. I love how the game is loading.
Yeah, it's just that it hasn't stopped.
Dude, I'm so confused.
Yeah, I know. I'm also so
Me too,
confused.
Nami.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I heard Gumboys talking about this a week ago. Looks like grown-ups
are turning into monsters. It can't be.
Anyway,
Is it like he's losing faith in like all of the adults because an adult kidnapped Ren and now he sees all of them as monsters?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Everything a metaphor.
Thanks for writing a song in the chat.
I hate to say it, but
I think we need to wake them up to find Ren.
they apparently know how to sing.
Yeah, that's what's gonna save Ren.
I'm glad that's over.
Okay, I love the plot. It's just like, yeah, defeat all the grown-ups.
One down, 2 to go. Quick, let's
Nice.
go play that song we learned.
Okay, we have to. Oh, now we have to always go back to the piano.
Play the song.
Yeah, because we want to play the songs.
But it's cool that we go back to like the hub, like the city.
Yeah,
is,
that's like a Metroidvania kind of.
Yeah, it feels very much like a
got the
Metroidvania. Also the
feeling-
exploration, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got the feeling that like you always have to go back and forth and solve puzzles to
Yeah.
continue.
That's pretty interesting. I think because like we're working on an indie game now that is a Metroidvania, or like Maria and I and Dragon Soul in the chat. So I think we can learn a lot from a game like this on how to make those things and how to adapt certain things. That's pretty cool.
Sure, yeah.
Look, it has a blister now.
Ew.
Also, like it's broken. Like
Yeah.
it's,
That's cool. I like that. I don't care. I missed that. Like, I'm gonna go back up and look
nice.
at. God, it just feels so nice. The thing that I don't understand is why for this one, the thing is up here, only for that one.
Maybe to show you that like this takes you out somewhere. Like
Yeah,
this is
maybe.
like a different kind of elevator.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so I think with this we conclude stream because I also don't want to spoil the story too much. I'm definitely gonna continue this off stream because this is or maybe also in the next stream because it's a really cool game. So yeah,
But it won't be game lab stream.
it won't be
It's
a
the
game
last
lab. Yeah, this is the last game lab stream. So for now, because maybe they continue game lab streams in the next semester, but it's gonna definitely be the last one with us. I think, as far as I can tell now, we'll see what the future brings. And anyway, I really enjoyed the journey we had, like playing the games together with people, just checking out different things and learning new stuff together.
And figuring out how to make game labs in the stream.
Yeah.
Definitely. If you want to check out the streams, they should all go to YouTube, to the GSE YouTube channel. If you want to check out GSE, Dragon Soul is going to post all the important links now about where to apply it to our studies, or in general, just like the university, what different kinds of study programs we have, and yeah. For everyone that wants to check out streams like this, or in general different channels, we have Lula Lobster's Twitch channel. I don't know how often you stream, but
sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So we have my channel where I'll talk also about game design and game studies, and also I play games and game competitive and whatnot. And Maria does art streams because she's an artist, and so yeah. Thank you very much for joining. And wait, I'm gonna post the link real quick that I got.
Nice. But yeah, I think the next semester, the way it looks right now, the game lab streams are gonna. But who knows? And we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe see you next semester. Maybe see you in the next stream.
Exactly. So yeah, have a great week. Stay safe. Enjoy your
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. You don't want a second wave. And yeah, thank you very much for being here, and see you around.
Bye.
Bye.